Okay, check 1, 2. Check uno, dos. Check. Let's see. What other languages can
Check
we count
tres, check cuatro, check seis. Did I didn't even say that right? Cinco, seis. I
You ever hear
skipped
people
5.
speak Portuguese?
I didn't notice if I did. You wanna give me some Portuguese?
I don't think I can. It just sounds very different from most other. It sounds like.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Are we
I
recording?
don't know. No, we're waiting for Sean. We are. Hello, welcome to the Ever Smokes podcast. We're waiting for Sean to get done taking a shit. Welcome to All Things Considered. My guest today is conspiracy theorist Sean McCarthy, who seems to be having diarrhea right now.
Sean passes shit like tiny dogs do. Like you'll hear him yelp in the other room, and you go, "Oh, I guess a shit popped out of his little tiny ass." He goes, "Yoip!" And you go, "Yep, he pushed out a turd."
And he's like dragging his ass on the
On the carpet.
because there's a hair stuck in it.
Because it's sore.
That's
Just
funny.
to wipe his ass with a feather.
Yeah.
delicate.
We are live. This is NPR, and our guest is having explosive diarrhea in our bathroom right now. Hey, welcome to WTF. I'm Mark Maron.
It's a pretty solid impression.
Thanks. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Sean, we started a little bit without you, and I just want to say that I do have, for the next episode, I have a surprise for you guys. Sean, would you mind tilting that camera towards, like, center us a little bit, just rotating it towards, yes, perfect. Thank you. Awesome. I have a surprise for you guys on the Patreon.
Oh, on the Patreon episode.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get to find out today.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I did something. And if you guys want to find out what the surprise is that I have for these guys, please go to patreon.com/outforsmokes and sign up for our Patreon, where you get a bonus episode for $5 a month. We have a beautiful little community over on patreon.com. And what else? Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. The Out for Smokes podcast on YouTube. Thank you guys for getting us to 5,500 subscribers. That's more than a lot of other people. It's more than we need, actually. It's a nice little,
Yeah, it's more than a man needs.
this
I think.
5,500 people. That's like the size of ancient Rome back in the day.
Is that true?
Probably.
There's 1 million people lived in ancient Rome.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just
we're almost
5,000
there.
people lived in Rome.
I don't know. Yeah. So join us over there.
5,000 people is the amount of sex slaves Cicero had.
Right. I forgot. And we still have T-shirts coming. I'm getting a mock-up done this week. The T-shirts will be available for pre-order pretty soon. Why are you laughing?
Because last
Why
week
is
you
that
said
funny?
Friday, and that was
No, I
the only
didn't.
reason you did.
I
and
think
it
I
was
just said
funny.
I just said I was going to tease them.
Oh, I thought you said Friday.
Did I?
You were
Maybe
gonna
I
have
did.
Like it's
Maybe
irrelevant because we knew you. It wasn't
Mike
true.
is like Donald Trump if he never figured out the second part of the grift, where you like actually make money. Like you make a bunch of false promises that you don't deliver on.
Right.
But he hasn't figured out how to make money off
But
of that.
what do I sell people? A story. A nice story about you, and you're a part of that story because you're supporting my family with these T-shirts that might never, that might never come. The T-shirts are like somebody's dad in a movie, But so they'll be available for sale for pre-order, and then I guess that's it. I guess we can get into our episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But go to patreon.com/outforsmokespod to find out what the surprise is that I have for Scott and Sean. It's not the T-shirts. It's something else. And that's what we will open up the episode over on Patreon. Guys, why do we do this show?
Wait, that's how you're starting it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. I thought the theme was shoplifting, but why do we do the show?
Well, so the theme of today's show, we're going to talk about crime that we don't do and have never done. We did receive a strike on YouTube for like I said, don't want to go there, but so none of us commit crimes, but we want to talk today about a crime that if you're down on your luck, if you're a single mother, if you're a homeless guy, if you're a little kid, who wants to impress a girl in your class and her family needs laundry detergent.
That crime is prostituting yourself to people in the financial district.
Right. But there's also an easier one. And today's episode is going to be all about shoplifting, the great American crime activity. Guys, why did we pick this theme for the episode?
We needed something that Mike Racine knew about.
Yeah. Yeah, something we felt you were invested in, something that we felt like you didn't have to do much research. You just kind of had to look in your drawer, in your sock drawer.
No.
You just had to check your Facebook Marketplace account and see which boosted power tools are going this week.
I did get a circular saw off a guy. I had to drive to Brownsville to get the circular saw off Facebook. I think it was Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, no, or I think it was like OfferUp, and I got a circular saw for like $30, and the guy who sold it to me was like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
I'm like, I bet whoever he stole that from was not as nice as him.
Yeah, I was reading a CNBC article about organized shoplifting gangs.
Yeah.
And they said, like power tools are a good one because, if you know an employee that works there, they can boost some power tools for you and you can give them heroin or cocaine as payment.
Right.
And then you unload it to a fence. And the fence they usually sell it on Facebook Marketplace. They used to use eBay more, but eBay's kind of been cracking down on that.
Right.
But generally, like the online retailer is kind of why there's this comeback in organized shoplifting, because you can just sell it on the online retailer, and then usually if you look on an online retailer and you're like, damn, that's so much cheaper than it is in the store, well, sometimes it's because it's shoplifted.
Like on Amazon?
Apparently,
like
on Amazon, and like I said, eBay used to be used a lot for this, but eBay's been like cooperating with law enforcement. But Facebook Marketplace is like, we're going to grow by just not cooperating with law enforcement,
really?
Which is a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, and then they don't get a commission on the sales though, do they?
Yeah, eBay gets a commission, Amazon gets a commission, Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, because I've sold stuff there, and I don't think I've had to pay them. Yeah. I owe Mark Zuckerberg like $400.
A little bit of that booty.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. He just shows up at my house. I heard you sold your Traeger grill, and you didn't pay me, so I get to
You slowly jerk them off.
Yeah, I want you to make eye contact, please. Look me in the face. Yeah. Do you guys have any like personal stories about this type of thing?
I never shoplifted because I was always afraid of getting in trouble with like any authority figure.
Yeah.
But
you don't really seem to like conflict.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Try to avoid it.
Yeah.
But my friend in Seattle that I worked with, he was so funny. We worked in it was called the International District or Chinatown or whatever. And there was one of those like Asian grocery stores there. And he would go like every lunch, I worked with this guy 5 days a week. Every lunch he would go and just like shoplift like a Monster energy drink or something.
Yeah.
And so he did this, for months and months. And then finally one day he's like, yeah, I can't go back there anymore. I'm banned now. It's like, well, what happened? So I, shoplift my regular Monster energy drink and I walk outside and some guy approaches me and is like, hey, I'm going to need you to come back with me here. And I said to him, but I'm outside. You can't actually do that, can you?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, yeah, I can.
And then he roundhouse kicked him right in the face.
And then he took him back in and said he's banned for 2 years, and they took his photo. And yeah, I forget if he had to pay a fine. But
well, the C-Town near your house is really funny because they have the pictures of all the shoplifters, and they have, can I say that you live near C-Town, by the way?
That's fine, yeah.
Because last week I said where Sean lives.
You said my job.
I said what his job is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they have pictures of all the shoplifters on the door, but under it they've written what the person was shoplifting. So it'll just be like a guy, and it'll be like baby formula, or like a lady, and it'll be like like Jello or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, remind me not to steal from this place, because it'll be like a picture, like an unflattering picture of me just looking really fat. It'll just say like brownie mix or whatever it is. Yeah.
Cucumber.
Adult diaper for the podcast.
Yeah. Which you could write off for the podcast that those adult
I'm
diapers
pretty
you
sure.
bought.
I'm doing bits where I shit myself on my podcast. I'm also incontinent, so I need them, but I can write off the diapers as long as I do bits where I excavate my bowels.
You get it audited. Your accountant's like, what is this $20 for adult diapers? Like, oh wait, you know I'm a podcaster, right?
Oh, all right.
Guys who get their picture on supermarkets, and so they walk in like tuxedos, like Stefan Urkel. They wear bow ties, and they're like, "No, that's not me."
Yeah, you're like one of those guys getting your picture taken going down Splash Mountain. So you just hold up a sign like 9/11 was an inside job when you're walking out with fucking 2 cases of beer.
Yeah, just imagine a guy wearing a top hat and a tuxedo, like getting detained by some loss prevention employee.
How am I that man?
No, come on, stop, let me go.
You just like spend 3 months growing out like mutton chops, and you dress yourself up like you're from the 1800s. They put your picture on the shoplifter wall, like, well, I'm just not going to wear that outfit again.
Dude, I was in a bodega on the Lower East Side one time, and I'm like looking at the stuff, and I remember everything's like really expensive because it's, the Lower East Side. And then I just hear this voice, and I just hear like, it's like a higher pitched voice, and I just hear it going, put that back. And it was like a kid, it was like a 12-year-old kid that was like yelling at this like this guy for stealing like soft drinks or whatever. And he's just like, put that back.
A 12-year-old had that accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get it at like a certain age,
What's that? Yeah.
But yeah, it is a
He had like
deep
a slighter
register.
accent, yeah. And his voice was
Deep
higher.
register.
He was like, put that back.
There you go.
Put that back.
Oh god.
And the guy got so pissed. The guy's like, man, fuck all y'all. He gets up to the register. He's like, fuck all y'all. He's like, I'll come back here and blast y'all. Because he couldn't take his soda. And then I went up and paid for my stuff, and there was like an older guy behind the counter. He was like, these guys, they steal and then they do this. So
well, shoplifting, like, I mean, it's really the history of shoplifting. It's very just white ladies. And well, just because that makes the most sense. It's like that's who were sent to the store the most.
Right.
Would be a white lady with like a list of shit to get.
Right.
And it wasn't her list; it was the man's list. And then he also decided, you could get some stuff. And then she'd have her list, and then she'd grab 2 things for herself that weren't on the list, so she'd fucking steal them.
Sure.
But yeah, you look up most famous shoplifters, even in history, and it's just Winona Ryder, Britney Spears. It's all just just who was the most famous lady in the 80s. She also shoplifted.
Right.
It's all chicks.
Right, because the husband controlled the right. So you're saying that, and no, I don't shoplift, but you're saying that I'm doing. If I were to shoplift,
dude, literally,
I would be doing women's crime.
No, I'm not saying that, but to the point where, like, kleptomania, when they were first studying it, they were like, let's look inside ladies' pussies, because, like, they steal. It's so much a women's thing. Look it up. It was so much. I'm not saying it was so much a women's thing. I'm saying men were so ignorant.
Right. There were signs
kleptomania.
There were signs like, we reserve the right to check your pussy before you leave the store.
Yeah, they'd be like, we gotta, and they would look inside, and they'd be like, it was something about like dirty uteruses. They'd be like, you're more inclined to shoplift. And then when guys were shoplifting, they'd be like, this is strange.
Yeah.
I like how the first 100 years of women's medicine were just like, what if we gave her an orgasm? Would that fix this?
What if we looked inside her pussy?
Yeah, it was all an excuse to stare in their pussy. They go, what did you do? My God, maybe your pussy had something to do with it. And then they'd look in it for a couple hours. How crazy is that?
That was the cure for hysteria.
Really?
When women were hysteric.
Yeah.
They just had like the Howard Stern Sabian.
Yeah, they just sit on it.
Right. That was medicine then.
Crazy. A doctor comes to your house, closes the door and your wife's in there and he's going, "You like that, bitch? You like that?" And then he comes out acting like he's a fucking doctor still.
Yeah.
That's
The
we
doctor's
couldn't
like-
Save her.
She's dead. Like, what the fuck?
The doctor's like looking up your wife's pussy. He's like shaking his head. He's like, I'm gonna have to look up her asshole too.
This is bad. This is so bad that it's corroded into the asshole, actually. She might get sepsis. She's such a thief. She might... Her pussy done broke into her asshole.
Those are
Please, doctor, is there anything you can do? I could go down on her.
I guess bad piping.
those are the top two women's crimes: shoplifting and drowning your kids in a bathtub. Pushing your minivan into a lake and blaming it on a black guy.
Oh man. But yeah, actually, like I guess, up until a certain point in England, if you shoplifted, it didn't matter what you shoplifted. It was just like, we kill you. That's just how they did it.
Like in Aladdin.
Yeah. And then there was a woman. Let me get her name right. I screenshotted it. You ever hear about this fucking lady? I think her name's like Mary Jones.
That was wild in Aladdin when Jasmine takes she takes like a loaf of bread for the kids and the guy takes her hand and is about to chop it off.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
buddy.
You go, geez, Louise.
It's not that serious. Yeah.
That is a great point, though, because I so think of like, oh, you steal and get your hand cut off. That's like a Middle Eastern thing.
Mhm.
But meanwhile, in England, they're just hanging people for shoplifting. And again, it's mostly women. And so what's happening is there's this woman named Mary Jones, and I think it was in 1771. And she gets hanged for stealing at a market, and she had her kids with her at the market. Her husband was away at fucking war during this time, right?
Yeah.
And she steals stuff at the market. She's got 2 young children. They fucking hang her, and later on, there's people
When
like
was
in
this?
1771, and it's also like Americans at the time, leading up to independence, it was a big thing of like, hey, remember Mary Jones? These fucking psychos hung her. All she did was and so it was it was something that guys would bring up and be like, we gotta get away from that.
All she did was steal a cup and ball for her children. Just some shitty wooden toy.
Yeah. And so then, after that point, they started realizing, hey, maybe this is bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's only bad because news gets out around the world, right?
Mary Jones was the first women be shopping joke, actually. You actually can't stop them from shopping, even if you hang them.
even if you freeze their credit card, they'll still do it.
That is a great point, though, Sean, because like if women be shopping, women be shoplifting. It's it only makes sense. They are the ones there.
Yeah. I mean, that that's a lot of credit to those white women. That takes a lot of balls to shoplift when you get hanged for it.
I wonder what war her husband was at.
I guess 1771. Who were we fighting? The French
the
or something?
The Zulu nation.
Who were they fighting?
He was just getting speared by some tribe.
Yeah, he's going down a river in Africa.
Yeah.
Ruining lives.
Yeah. He's like, at least my wife.
He's like, can you hang my wife, please?
At least my beautiful wife's at home taking care of my children. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope I don't come home and find out my wife has been hanged because she shoplifted from Sephora.
Really? Like, honey, I'm the one with the cargo pants. Like, I'll do it.
Well, but then now, okay, right? You think of the leniency. It's also another reason so many white women shoplift nowadays is because they can get away with it. Because not get away with it, but there's really no repercussion for shoplifting if you're like a middle-aged person. I mean, even me, if I get caught shoplifting, I'm gonna find a way out of it. Through my white innocence.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a real thing that you can strum up if you look a certain way.
Right.
And I think that's another reason why so many people shoplift, because they can get away with it. White people.
Yeah. It really is unfair that we can get away with it so much easier.
Yeah.
Like you should, if you're gonna shoplift, you should give 10% of your earnings to a person of color.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, you should give your frozen salmon.
Well,
you should give one piece of your frozen salmon to Black Lives Matter.
It's like
send it in the mail.
The businesses have this business supports Black Lives Matter, but you just do that for the shoplifting rings.
Yeah.
You guys all wear shirts that say 10% of our proceeds are donated to Black Lives Matter.
Sure.
I worked loss prevention at a department store when I was 21.
Yeah.
In Manhattan, right by the Trade Center. And very quickly, I mean, I've said this a bunch of times on the podcast, I'm sure, but if I was 21, the oldest kid was like 25, and then mostly everybody was like 19 and 23.
Yeah.
Right? And
Scott works the jobs that like don't fit his personality.
Yeah, it was all like Puerto Rican and black kids.
Right.
Yeah, well, nothing fits my personality other than like complaining at a movie theater.
Well, you're like a nice guy,
A
but you
movie
like,
critic?
you're like, yeah, maybe. Just a live action movie critic.
Yeah.
You're like, yo,
it's crazy.
yo, Kermit doesn't talk like that. They got a new voice for Kermit.
But you quickly learn, and I worked with it was all like Dominican kids, Puerto Rican kids, and black kids.
Yeah.
And all of the managers were for the most part white guys, and they had no problem letting them know, like, hey, obviously, if young black kids come in here, that's who you're watching.
Right.
And we were near Chinatown, and so it was like anybody who looked Chinese come in here, the CCTV cameras are on them, and those were just the rules.
What do you mean, look Chinese?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're kids. You don't know who's Chinese and who isn't. So who looks Chinese? You know what I'm saying? Could be a Japanese man. We're following him.
Oh, but you said black kids though.
Oh no, but I'm saying black and Chinese. So it's two separate things. Because also Chinatown was so close to us.
Okay.
And in Chinatown, it's mostly like lifted shit. Obviously,
Okay.
It's not stuff they went and bought and then are now reselling.
Interesting.
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, no. You know what?
That's why sometimes you'll be in a store in Chinatown and they'll just close the store and you're in it still, and they go, "Wait 5 minutes." And you go, "What?" They go, "Wait 5 minutes, you stay here." You go, "What the fuck?" It's because the cops are walking by.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where those deals came from.
Yeah.
stolen?
I feel bad for them because pirating movies and stuff and pirating CDs, so much business is probably lost now because of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Like Napster and
Yeah,
stuff.
it used to be when I moved to New York, you would go into like a McDonald's and there'd be some Asian lady with like a grocery bag full of pirated DVDs just selling them.
I bought American Gangster on DVD.
I would buy movies for my dad because my dad wouldn't go to the movie theater.
Yeah. The quality wasn't very good though.
No. You remember back in the day though, when I have a copy of Titanic that it's a man like moving his body and there's like heads in front of it. Like he sat there and filmed it. Yeah, at least by the time we were old enough, they were actually stealing like the digital version of a movie.
Right. Yeah, I remember the news being like, some people just sit in the theater and film the movie. Like you're supposed to be mad.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, dude, so there's a circus near me, right? I go, is this circus going to be worth it? Because I'll go to a goddamn circus. So I go to look it up on YouTube thinking I'll see like a commercial.
Yeah.
There is a guy who went to this like cheap ass circus with his family and filmed the whole thing from parking lot till it ended. He's just like, we're at the circus. And he's just sitting there filming it. It's like an hour and 10 minutes long. And I got to see if this circus was worth it or not. And it wasn't. But people will still film shit.
Yeah. And that guy's actually just committed suicide recently.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, he died in a tragic elephant stomping.
But yeah, shoplifting was like, also the rules there were, so the law is you cannot follow, once someone gets out of a store, you can't follow them. You can't do shit.
Sure,
and you can't keep someone in the store.
Yeah.
Like
Right, you can't detain somebody.
in terms of working in a place, like insurance, liability, the idea of getting hurt, you can't do shit.
Right.
By law,
Right,
you
right.
can't do nothing. You just have to watch someone. But nobody actually knows that.
Right.
And so it's like, we must protect this house. All of a sudden, you're a football team. And so you're like getting people in headlocks when you're literally not allowed to do such a thing.
I remember when like we were kids, that was one of those like urban legends we all passed around that you just assume was true. Though I guess in this case it was, where it's like if you're shoplifting, once you get out of the store, you're safe. Or like once you're in the parking lot or whatever.
Well, they can't touch you, so you just say fuck you and you keep.
You can literally tell them to suck your dick and walk out with a handkerchief.
Yeah.
But it seems like, I mean, I don't know if that varies jurisdiction to jurisdiction, or like what happened to my friend is like if you're a loss prevention guy, you can just talk and act like you're an authority.
Exactly.
And some fucking kid is not going to know that it's like, hey, actually, I can't make you go back in the store.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I can't like touch you in the parking lot or whatever.
Yeah, it's all just like, you got to get over here. You got to, but none of it is real.
Dude, I saw this video. There was a guy, I guess he was shoplifting from a Family Dollar, and I think it was on somebody's like Ring doorbell camera. The manager, like, he's on his bike. The manager like runs him over with her car. She like knocks
Oh,
the
she
bike
chased
over.
him down the street,
She
right?
chased him down the
Yeah.
street, yeah. And then she gets out of her car. She's like, "What's up? Why are you stealing from my store? Why are you stealing from my store?" It's like, ma'am. Can we relax?
So that's not your store. Mom and pop
Sure.
shops, there is part of me that
There
goes
is-
like chase them to the end of the world.
Sure,
like literally
sure.
buy
Yeah.
like steal
Right.
someone else's
Right.
car to chase a man down the street.
Or if someone stole one of my
Just like-
t-shirts, yeah, I'd be really upset.
Yeah, Mike, imagine you're selling merch after a show and someone steals your CD and heads down. You're not going to follow him and drown him in a puddle.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
If somebody's going to break into Mike's apartment and then list all our shirts on Facebook Marketplace for $10.
No.
Yeah, I do believe that if you like carved an object and you are selling
I'm
it,
like William H. Macy in Fargo, scraping ice off my car after that happens.
But that'd be great to just like paralyze a kid with your car because they stole $17 from Family Dollar.
It's so
Ridiculous.
crazy. Yeah.
He stole 4 items worth $5.99, and now he
Yeah.
can never walk again.
Yeah, which okay, I get it. Like nobody wants to be a cuck. Nobody wants to get cucked at their job or disrespected.
yeah, being stolen on is in a way, it's absolutely being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is that other part where you go, well, why did you do it? And it's like, well, because some people will not allow disrespect.
Right.
And they will chase you and run your ass over. And
Yeah.
that just, who am I to argue that?
Yeah.
You disrespected them, did you not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I guess I just feel like, don't do that, because there's been in the past, I think 5 months, 2 Home Depot employees have been killed by shoplifters.
I don't mean to laugh. I don't. That's terrible.
I mean, it's kind of funny, I guess.
But yeah, one of them was like a loss prevention guy.
Yeah,
at Home Depot.
So
yeah.
a Home Depot was shot and killed. This is April 19th, 2023. A Home Depot employee was shot and killed while trying to stop a shoplifter in Pleasanton, California, authorities said. The victim, 26-year-old Blake Mose, was a loss prevention employee who was a well-known member of the community, the Pleasanton Police Department said in a statement. During the investigation, detectives determined Mose confronted a female shoplifter who resisted and shot him.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Who resisted and shot him, authorities
Dude,
said. The suspect-
white women used to get hanged, and now they're doing the killing.
No, this is a black woman, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
This is
It is.
Black women take shoplifting much more seriously.
they're better at it. Ain't nobody hanging me. The suspect, Benicia Knaps, 32, ran to a getaway car driven by a male suspect, David Guillory, 31. Knaps' 2-year-old child was also in the getaway car. Just very bad stuff all around.
What did they steal from the Home Depot?
I think like a job site light or something, like an overhead light.
For what?
Something, yeah.
You go, man, why did you go and shoot that man?
Yeah.
for stealing what? What were you trying to make
Right.
that's so important?
Right.
Mike, you should start taking a gun shoplifting, and
I
then
don't
and then
shoplift.
and then we'll get a scenario like the end of Taxi
Sean,
Driver.
we got to bleed.
But also, this kid is 26 years old. He's got a job.
Yeah.
It is, again, rude and disrespectful to steal shit.
Mm-hmm.
And his job is to make sure people don't do that. So you're disrespecting his job. So he's trying to stop you.
Yeah.
He's not in the wrong. He's in the wrong in that, dude, don't fucking fight people over nothing. Just go, because literally them's the rules.
Right.
Unless you carved it yourself. I do
Right.
believe that.
Right.
If it's something you made yourself
Right.
and someone takes it, you can snap their neck
Right.
and lift them in front of everybody around you and go, no one's allowed to fuck with my shit.
Yeah.
But come on. Things at a store,
Yeah.
no bueno, bro.
I think a lot of those loss prevention people are they private from private companies or
No, I think loss prevention, because again, at the department store I worked at, it was called loss prevention and not security. And all I can think is because security would mean I would need a security. No, I did get a license though. I got a license to do that.
yeah.
I went somewhere in Brooklyn. I took a test. It's a bogus test.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have to do that. Holy shit, I forgot
Identify
about
the
that.
black people on this security camera footage.
Wait, what is this guy doing? This guy Jamie, whatever. What he's wearing a do rag?
Do you have cancer or something?
Oh, did he?
Oh, he's got cancer.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Jamie Raskin. Sorry, Jamie Raskin. Why would he wear a do rag though? That's like cultural appropriation.
Well, the
I
other
don't
thing
know.
they say is that what is it called? The facial recognition stuff that they're
Yeah.
using at like certain stores.
Yeah.
that they used at Radio City, which we'll mention in a second,
Mm-hmm.
but that black women actually get like inaccurately picked in them for some reason.
Oh, they do?
So it's like something about facial recognition, because it's not perfect, and so sometimes it does mess up. It messes up more towards black women. So
This fucking country.
yeah, it's fucking technology.
Joe Rogan, if you're a black woman, Joe Rogan owes you an apology.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's club has facial recognition, so you can't. So also, you got to put your phone in a bag because comedy,
which is very necessary to ensure the quality of the show.
Yeah, because the greatest comedians ever are
the
those
greatest
associated
comedians
with
ever.
Joe Rogan,
Right. And someday we will.
and their material is
Sacred.
sacred.
Hey,
So when their Netflix special comes out, you don't go, "Oh, I was spoiled. Thank God my mind has now been blown."
let's not talk bad about anyone who follows me on Twitter, okay?
Yeah. Shout out to Joe. Joe, we love what you're doing at the club with the facial recognition software.
Dude, but Radio City has
please.
facial recognition.
Why does he use the facial recognition?
I don't know. He just does. He uses
Funny if he
facial
just
recognition
sells
to enter the
everybody's
club.
fucking biometric data.
A lot of like strip clubs use it too, right? Am I wrong for saying that?
Do they?
I believe strip clubs use it. Yeah, it's a place where like
It's just when you walk in the door, like an alarm goes off in the back that says "loser incoming," loser.
I guess in my brain, you go, a place where repeat offenders would come in, and a place like someone trying to harass Joe. You know, me. I don't know. I really don't know. I do know this story.
Yeah.
That at Radio City, a woman went to go with a Girl Scout troops with her daughter to go see the Rockettes at the Christmas Spectacular, and security stopped her because of facial recognition. She is an attorney who is involved in a lawsuit against the owners of Radio City and other places in Manhattan, and they told her she was not allowed to enter because she is an attorney involved in a lawsuit against them. So she couldn't go to Radio City, so she sat outside while her daughter and Girl Scouts watched the Rockettes. She wasn't allowed in. So, I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy. And I did read what these things are. It's not technology where there's a database of criminals that now you get to put in faces. Like you have, like, say you buy it. You buy facial recognition. You could put in just like people you don't like into it. And that's what it will read. Which is not...
Can you use to keep your wife out of your man cave?
Like, you could find everybody on the internet who called you a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And then that could be in your facial recognition app of people.
They don't show their face.
Sure. But if they did, then no one could enter your store, whoever made fun of you.
Yeah, Mike Racine's list of people who called him a loser would be longer than the no-fly list.
Okay.
Only half as many Arabic names.
Yeah, it is weird because in that sense you go, oh, what if people are like, you know, especially Joe Rogan, he's so polarizing where you go, oh, journalists might want to come in there and listen to what's going on.
Right.
Well, would they be stopped and go, hey, you're a journalist?
Right.
But they won't even know.
Who's that?
They're using it and no one even knows.
Joe Rogan sets the facial recognition software to not allow Seth Simons in, and it just bans all Jewish people.
I was gonna say, how about like you just see Taylor Lawrence get like thrown on her ass in front of the club, just thrown into a puddle.
Jake Flores is banned for sure.
Yeah. And stay out.
Yeah, it's like
Joe Rogan like
the fucking
dusting his hands off.
the facial recognition software tags Jake Flores as a homeless person.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
But have I ever shoplifted? I mean, like I told you a few weeks ago, I stole a charger cord. I stole this actually from a gas station.
Scott, that's mine.
No, this is mine.
I lost that like 2 weeks ago.
How'd you steal it from?
Scott, you stole it from my house?
I stole it from a gas station because, you know, they got the little store inside because they don't fucking work and they make your phone hot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna explode my cock one day.
Yeah.
And I can at least go, well, I stole it, so
At
I
least save
deserved
$12.
it. You know?
Yeah, when your cock is on fire.
Yeah, at least I go, well, I'm a thief, and that's a sin.
Yeah.
You know, there were thieves on the cross with Christ as well. Maybe Mike would want to talk about that. Are you a religious
I
man?
don't really know anything about being a thief. I don't know why you guys keep saying like it's
Do you
very
know about
weird.
like religion though? You
It's
know,
weird that you're accusing me of crimes that I don't regularly commit.
there's like a good thief and a bad thief on the cross with Christ, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thief stole bread, I think, and then the bad thief stole,
He stole
pussy.
cable. He stole cable
He
from
stole
his neighbor.
cable. Yeah. He stole his neighbor's Wi-Fi password.
Jesus is like, you know what? You're a fucking asshole. You know, your neighbor worked hard to pay those bills. Jason, you fucking asshole.
Oh, dude.
No, I think the one guy's like, why don't you save us? And then the other guy was like, no, I deserve to have nails in my penis. Because I'm bad. Because I'm a bad boy.
Oh, yeah. That's
No, I deserve to have these
One
nails.
of Mike's neighbors is on the fire escape smoking a little bowl right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Good.
I do that. I think it's stinking up the apartment above me though. They're
No,
like
they don't
mad at
care.
me.
Well, they
I
better
can't
not.
see.
You know, a friend of
Above us?
mine.
Open the
No,
open the
not
drapes.
above you.
Where?
No. I mean, you can see it from my side.
You
He's
can't just
straight
look
ahead.
out a
He's-
window like this for too long without being
Yeah.
a creep.
All right,
You gotta have a
yeah.
broken leg.
Ah! Hey, what are you freaks doing in there?
Yeah. You're breaking the law.
It's just a podcast. Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm your new neighbor. I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, we were watching you smoke
Oh,
weed
I
out
see
there.
him, yeah.
I really like your technique.
Yeah.
Hey, ink tags. You don't see those a lot. Do they still use ink tags?
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
Where ink would blow up on your hands and face if you stole a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mike
to
comes in
embarrass
looking
you?
like Al Jolson, completely covered in ink on his face.
Hey, guys, I got you a little something from Whole Foods.
Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me.
Have you guys noticed, okay, so the Dwayne Reed in Jersey City,
Yeah.
over the last few years, more and more items in plastic cases that you have to push a button,
Yeah.
and then a speaker goes over,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Oh, it's
energy
so
drink
annoying.
aisle. Yeah. In the tiny
demeaning,
dick
yeah.
aisle. They got to come and get your tiny dick items.
It's just an aisle
Yeah.
for tiny dicks.
Yeah, and and it's so embarrassing.
Yeah. Sarah Tolomash had a funny bit, a very funny comic. Joe List's wife, actually. But she's like, everything's behind a glass case at CVS. Now it kind of makes me feel like I'm at Tiffany's.
That's so funny.
I'm like, hi, I'd like to look at the deodorant today.
Oh, I love that.
you gotta bring a little doorbell and some guy
Yeah.
comes and gets you deodorant.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's true. And I've noticed
Customer service representative needed at the impotent men aisle.
it's just the shit people are stealing too. It's never like it's not the most expensive. It's not from expensive
You have a
order.
little penis?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you need? You have a little dick?
So it's like 5-hour energy drinks are locked up.
Yeah.
Because people steal a thing like that. It's not because they're.
Yeah.
It's literally what people are stealing is
Yeah.
what's being caged up.
Dude, I was going to a 3-year-old's birthday party on Saturday, and I walk into Walgreens, and the line is, there's like one register open. The line is like 6 people deep. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I go upstairs to get the cards, and I find like a card with Minnie Mouse on it. It says like happy 3rd birthday. And then I just remembered like there's an elevator in the store. So you can, if you want to, you can steal in the elevator.
I would
Just
assume
hide
there's
stuff.
camera in the elevator.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Wow.
But anyway, I was like, so where am I going to put this card? My pants pockets are too small, so I put it like under my shirt. But then I realized like, okay, you can probably see it under my shirt, and like I'm not holding it, so it's gonna like fall. And then I like step out of the elevator, and like the card falls out of my shirt, and I just quickly kind of like I just didn't want to wait in that line, you know.
But
I
did
just
you grab
quickly-
it and run out?
No, I just picked it up and paid for it. Just waited in the line.
The psychological thriller in your head of wanting to steal a $3 card. Cards are expensive too, though. That's the other
Man,
thing.
I'm like Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak.
But cards are like, you could get a $7 card.
Yeah.
Most cards are what, 4 something. It's always a
Yeah,
weird
but some
number.
of them
It's always
are,
like
like, expensive.
$4.39.
At a drugstore, yeah, it was like $4 or $5.
Yeah, some horse shit.
Yeah. Yeah, a card should be at least at most $4.
We should start stealing them and selling them on Facebook Marketplace for $2.
Cards should be like
Just standing outside
bookmarks.
Walgreens like, yo, I got that 3-year-old birthday card.
There's a guy, so like on these organized shoplifting rings, there was a guy that San Francisco police just arrested who apparently was able to keep and sell at least 200,000 worth of shoplifted merchandise just out of his apartment in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
How?
Because, like, I guess if you just do it regularly and hit different stores and then, you just bring it back to your place and you kind of fence it in bulk.
Yeah.
Maybe like some big eBay or Facebook Marketplace sellers. Maybe do a bit of it yourself,
But what is he selling and how much of like a discount is he giving on like, I don't know.
I'm sure they got like percentage formulas and all that.
Yeah.
But you can, if you take like 25%
I'm
off.
Sure there's yeah, right.
That's like garbage picking. You should garbage pick and sell it.
Yeah.
Don't steal and sell it. Garbage pick.
Where do you?
I just always garbage picked my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see something nice.
You garbage picked
it.
your whole life?
Yeah. My uncle is like a big garbage picker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I
Like
called
goes
him.
to the dump?
I called him. If I called him right now and said like name 3 towns,
Yeah.
and like with the best garbage,
sure,
he'll be like, "Oh God, easy," and he'll just name them.
Yeah.
And he goes because he doesn't use his phone at all. So he goes, "What you got to do is you got to go to their town hall and say that your aunt is like old, and you got to take out her garbage and find out what day garbage day is there." He goes, "That's what I used to do. I'll just Google what garbage day is in that town."
Yeah.
But he would go to the town halls and be like, "My grandmother is dying," just so he could steal shit.
That rocks.
Yeah, but it's not stealing. I mean, you're taking garbage. But people will
I did
act
find
like
a
you're
bin of
stealing,
Tide
man.
Pods on the street the other day. That was kind of nice.
It's good.
I guess I
know,
could like bag those up and sell them.
Yeah.
Be like 50 Tide Pods.
Yeah, sell them to millennials so they'll eat them. So they'll try to get high eating Tide Pods.
Well, there's the Meadowlands Fair, and one of my uncle's best friends, he had a van, and he would just fill it up all week with like shit that he found in the garbage, and then you drive to the Meadowlands, it's a flea market, and I think you pay like $30 to be allowed to sell stuff there, and you just sell garbage every Saturday. You spend $30, you probably make $100. Even if you make like almost nothing, you're probably gonna make $100.
Right.
Pretty cool.
And I didn't even wipe this stuff down.
Nope.
I didn't even disinfect half
Look
this
at it.
stuff
She'll
that I
got
found in the
shit
garbage.
stains on it.
Yeah. People do just put like stuff on their street, like on the curb over here.
Yeah, sometimes they'll write
Put
free
tons of
on
nice
it
stuff, yeah.
with a piece of paper. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't think I knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we took the people who lived across the street from me when I was a kid. They threw out a bicycle, and so me and my friends took it and then beat the shit out of it, like with a bat. And I remember the woman coming over to my house. We beat it up in my backyard, and the woman was like, "You can't do that." And we're like, "You threw it out," and we were just beating it. We just took a bicycle, and beat it.
Right.
'Cause that's what you do as a kid.
It's like a intermission level in Street Fighter where you beat up the car. It's like you're practicing Hadoken on the
You're
bicycle.
going to town on it. You know, letting out
Scott
that
just
aggression.
Chun-Li kicked that fucking bike until it was broken.
You're having your friends like ghost ride it at you, hitting it. She was so mad though.
You cammied the shit out of that bike.
Yucca flame.
Yeah. But yeah, another time I was riding my bike down like Broadway in Brooklyn, like right near Broadway and Flushing, and I just like I hear running, and then I hear like more feet like running, and then I guess this guy had been stealing, and then these two guys in what I assume at the bodega like chased him with bats and started hitting him with bats.
Oh no!
And I just hear like the way that the bats were hitting the guy's body, it was just like ding, 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 ding. Like because they were like aluminum bats. And then it was this weird thing where it's like I don't know what he must have stole like a soda or something. And then like after they were done like hitting him with bats, they just kind of like went their separate ways. They were like, all right, we're done here. And the guys with the bats just like walked away. And then the guy who was stealing just like dusted himself off and like kept walking.
Oh no!
Would you like to do that if like you did a live show and somebody stole your merch, just wail on them with a bat?
If somebody needs my merch, they can have it, I think. If someone...
There is something about aluminum bats that it's like, were these for hitting people? Like, it's like once you do it once, you're like, God damn, I'm
Yeah.
keep wailing.
Right.
How many socially acceptable times do you get to wail on somebody with a bat?
Yeah, I guess just when they like harass your daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why hope I have a daughter.
That's why you hope you have one.
Yeah.
A hot one.
I just hope I have the hottest daughter.
Just so you can answer the door with a gun. It's your biggest dream to have the most desired daughter, so you could threaten boys.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Guys who that's like a bit they do.
What?
Fathers who threaten. Like, did you have a
it's weird.
girlfriend
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like all of a sudden they become a piece of shit because you're there, and they're like, I'll murder you, and then it's like that's the bit.
The
Like,
dad?
yeah, I always
Yeah.
hated that shit.
Dads do that during like prom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very stupid.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your daughter is gonna get fingered if she wants to. You
Yeah.
you know that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Your daughter's probably her little 16-year-old. Okay, I don't want another
Yeah, I never.
copyright strike.
This guy.
It's just weird to be like, if you touch my daughter.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, sir, I was thinking about like hanging out with everybody
Right,
tonight, because that's
right.
what prom is.
Yeah.
Prom is not getting pussy.
It's not a
You've
horny-
gotten
it's not a
pussy
horny-
before prom.
You have?
Prom is yeah. A lot. I would assume. I don't know
Right,
statistically.
some people, yeah.
But a lot of us got pussy before prom. So
Yeah.
prom isn't like pussy night.
Right.
Prom is just like, oh, we're all going out and
Right.
hanging out night.
Yeah. You're wearing a teal vest.
Yeah,
and-
so then you go somewhere and the guy's like, don't touch my daughter's pussy. And you're like, dude, what? I'm thinking about a DJ right now.
Yeah.
And the finger food we're going to have.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah. Have her home before midnight, or I'll hang you like one of those women who shoplifted in England.
Right.
Oy vey.
Sir, your daughter's pussy touched me. All right. Sir, I'm here talking to my English teacher, okay? I'm watching my date make out with another guy. Talking to my English teacher.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would like to do. You just hang out and talk to the teachers.
Yeah. Prom. Wouldn't want to do that again.
Dude, I saw pictures of my prom and I had such bad acne, dude.
Yeah.
The worst of my life was prom weekend.
Mm.
Yeah. Awful.
Did you go to prom with a black girl?
2 black girls, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
At the same time?
Yeah. I wonder if I have pictures on my phone. I might not.
Dude,
I
I
could
like-
post them on the Patreon maybe.
I like to
uh,
imagine Malcolm X is in hell just screaming as he watches Scott's dating life.
Yeah, they're like, what is happening with this boy? But no, I mean, I'm from like a white town, and I mean, to the point where literally my recollection of me graduating high school, sorry, any black guys, I don't think there was a black guy I graduated with.
Yeah.
And there was only 2 black girls, and we went to prom together.
Aw.
Yeah. I was supposed to go with some other girl, and then her boyfriend was like younger than us.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, my boyfriend's mad at you, mad that so he wants to go." I was like, "I don't give a fuck, whatever, you know." And then I just wasn't going to go to prom.
Mhm.
And then one of the black girls was like, "You're coming with us."
Mm.
I was like, "All right."
Nice.
And then we went. It was very sweet and very nice. Yeah.
Nice. Well, another Home Depot employee, 82 years old, was died of his injuries after he was shoved to the ground when a man stole 3 power washers.
3 power washers.
Yeah,
Let's
valued
go.
at $837. You could see in the video the man. His name's Gary Razor. He approaches the suspect, asking him for a receipt. The guy pushes him like that. The man falls backwards, and then a couple weeks later, Gary succumbed to his injuries.
How old is
And,
Gary getting pushed
82
over?
years old.
82-year-olds should not be checking receipts at doors.
Right.
First off,
Right.
you know Walmart's doing it to like fuck them, right? It's something about like insurance. It's like it's because they know these people are going to die, and they make money off of the fact that they're going to die while employed by them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't hire these people for like actual kind reasons.
Well, his family was trying to be like, there's something interesting about people that old that are working in retail. I don't think he had to, because I think his family was like, hey, you should retire. But he was like, no, I like it
saying
here.
hi to the people.
I like saying hi to the
say
people.
hi and bye.
Yeah.
yeah.
82-year-olds and people with Down syndrome go to work for the
Yeah.
same reasons.
Say
But it's
hi and
like,
bye.
Sonny, can I check that receipt?
Yeah.
Fuck you, bitch.
yeah, that's the worst part. He didn't even
Yeah.
confront them. It was just probably the moment of "May I see it,"
yeah.
and then you push. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, old men are like dominoes, dude. They just fall right back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember when I was in like elementary school, my grandmother got a job at a deli counter. And I found out later that it was because like my grandfather was like controlling the money that she did.
dude, my mom did that.
Really?
Yeah. My mom got like a job at some point when I was in high school, and it was just because like she didn't really have money. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
if there was tension with my father, then
Because my grandfather was like such a cocksucker with money. She
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I'll go slice meat at the fuck you, I'll go work at the deli counter.
unreal.
Good for her at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of women don't technically have to work, but their husbands are
Such pieces of shit.
cocksuckers.
Cocksuckers, yeah.
Yeah, man.
My grandmother like ran a restaurant. She like was in the back of the restaurant.
Yeah,
She
I
didn't
have an
have
aunt
to-
who shouldn't like. She should not have to work. Like if you
Right.
looked at money wise,
Right.
you go, you don't have to.
My
If
grandmother-
he just
my
like,
grandmother
if he
could
just
have
let you
given
have
me-
some of his money, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to work.
Yeah,
yeah.
My grandmother could have given me foot massages all day.
yeah. She could have sang him songs. Instead, she was cutting deli meat.
She could
Yeah.
have just taken me to Toys R Us and rubbed my feet all day.
Yeah.
Instead, she was fucking slicing country ham.
Well, it's nice that Mike fights these toxic male stereotypes by instead mooching off of his wife.
Right, exactly.
No, I don't use my financial resources to control my wife. In fact, quite the opposite.
Hey, I won't if you guys buy a T-shirt.
I love that.
All you guys got to do is buy a T-shirt. I'll stop mooching. I'll stop being a parasite to a
gun to her
a
head.
beautiful, hardworking woman.
Yeah, buy a goddamn t-shirt.
I'll stop leeching off a very sweet, hardworking woman.
We promise if you buy a t-shirt, Mike will secure all the money away and not give any to Deborah, and she'll have to get another job.
I'll put it in a balloon and keep the balloon in my ass at all times. Anyway, so
Mike, can I get some money for shopping? Yeah, but you know how you got to go get it.
can I get some money for shopping? I just hand her a tote bag. I'm like, you know what to do with this, toots.
Man.
I guess two more points that I want to make before we wrap up is that when I was researching this episode, there seems to be a lot of conflicting information about is there a no stop policy? Like on Reddit, people are like, hey, I was a shoplifter for a long time. I did this, this, and this. Then there's people who are like, well, I worked in loss prevention. And like, no, we will detain you. We will detain you. We do watch everybody. It's a lie that like we watch everybody.
No, they do watch everybody. Yeah.
They watch everybody.
Dude, the
But
department
you just
store I
said that they
worked in-
said young black kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so this is what happens. Right?
specifically,
I'll
yeah.
straight up explain it to you.
Yeah.
So at this department store, they not only did they have people at the doors, but they had people in a CCTV room. And this shit looked like Batman, dude. It looked like Batman's cave.
Really?
Legitimately, dude. Just so many cameras and camera angles, and they all have different numbers. Let's say, I think there was
And the
like...
guy working at it looked like the Penguin.
Yeah. Let's say there's like 200 cameras. Well, you would actually switch shifts. So you'd work at the door, then you'd go into the CCTV camera room.
Uh-huh.
Everybody would switch. You'd go to different doors and then back into the camera room.
Right.
I was never
How many
allowed
people
in
are
the
watching
camera
the
room because I was
cameras?
bad at it.
Yeah.
But the idea is also loss prevention. There's like incentive. So at this department store that I worked in, you got extra money if you caught someone stealing.
Uh-huh.
So this idea of we watch everybody goes out the window when all of a sudden
Right,
you're
right.
going like, oh no, I'm technically trying to find out who steals the
stealing,
most.
yeah.
And then stereotypes become reality.
Right.
And you are following every little, tiny Chinese woman in the wallet section because Chinatown is 3 blocks away. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
And they sell wallets. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Scott was banned from the security cameras because he kept following the black women to ask for their number.
well, they followed Jeffrey Joseph. They called out Jeffrey Joseph once, who's a comic. He wrote for In Living Color. Really great guy. And I think I was working that day, and I got really fucking pissed. Or I found out because another friend of mine worked that day, and he let me know. Yeah. But all I know is I remember telling Jeffrey, like, dude, they can't do shit to you. Fuck them. So you should steal because he didn't steal.
Scott's watching a black woman. He gets Pepe Le Pew eyes and starts floating towards her.
I let kids steal all the time. Like little kids would have stuff in their pockets, like a
Sure,
toy.
yeah.
Because a little kid will, they'll put a thing in their pocket and then like try to take it without even their mom knowing.
Right.
But the alarm goes off and it's like a little duck or something. You go ahead, kid. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
But then sometimes what would happen is the CCTV cameras would catch a woman shoplifting with her kid there, would put the stuff in the kid's pockets.
Yeah.
The kid's backpack.
Yeah, no, I heard that's a good idea.
Then, it's a great idea. And then you walk out the door and the alarm goes off and then they would start yelling. A lot of the times they would start yelling at the kid, what did you do?
Oh, yeah.
The mom, but not realizing, we've been following you on CCTV and we
Right.
know you put it in there.
Right.
But she started one woman started spanking her fucking kid, dude. but she was the one putting it in there. But hey, we're at the door. We're in trouble.
Oh my god!
This is part of your job, kid. You get spanked now. Yeah, it's
See, that's a little
fucking sad
fucked
and
up.
terrible. Well, it's
Did you
awful,
give her? I hope you
man.
give her a spanking.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got her in a headlock and everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't
That's
remember
when
what happened with her.
47-year-old woman.
That's when Scott was like really ruthless. He was like, "All right, come to the back," and she's like, "What are you gonna do to me?" He just pulls out a paddle and pulls her pants down and starts paddling her ass.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. No, but that's
Korea.
you shouldn't be hitting a kid. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
fucked
I mean,
up.
yeah, dude.
But
you know,
so,
not everyone stealing is like honorable. You know.
But wait,
right.
so
Yeah,
you
come
worked
on.
in loss prevention.
Yeah.
Like, are you supposed to obstruct them when they're stealing? I mean, how does that work?
Okay,
Yeah.
so the idea is,
And not everyone stealing is a hardworking Italian podcaster
And
who just
again,
wants to feed his
this
kid
is just how the place
organic
I
chicken
worked
thighs.
worked. I don't even know if these are the rules. This is just what we were told and how things operated.
Mm-hmm.
If they get to the door and it beeps, you have to tell them to stop, stay there, and then you call a manager. The manager comes, talks to them, basically gets them to admit to what they did because they're just going to lie. Oh, I'm confused. I don't.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, most of the time they were already followed, and it was actually like they were seen.
They were
doing
already
it.
followed and seen.
Yeah.
doing it.
Oh, also, by the way, they'll rip off the tag so they don't beep at the door.
Right.
So if they beep at the door, they get stopped and they will get brought down into like basically it's like a fake little jail and it's just a loss prevention room
Yeah.
where they go wait till the cops get here and then the cops come and they take them to a station. You know, if it's a certain amount of money or whatever. You know.
In Europe, I know a guy who he helped me get a backpack for cheap by just switching the tags. You know,
yeah, that's a big thing too, and you get in trouble for that if you switch tags. We have to stop you at the door, and the transaction would have to happen though. That's the idea. So you'd watch them like, you know, do this bullshit transaction. And then once you get to the door, oh, excuse me. Hey, I just have to stop you. Someone has to talk to you. And they're looking at you like, what does that mean? But you have to lie to them until your manager gets there. But usually the manager's already waiting with you at the door, you know, because someone has stolen already. And then, yeah, it's like bring them down. And then if they try to run, what would usually happen is, again, it's kids. They would chase them down the street and fight them. People would like fucking the amount of car doors, the windows that were like snapped in half by kids, security chasing someone who stole a fucking watch or something, you know, like breaking people's car, like doing damage. I remember my friend, the guy got down into the subway and he chased him on the tracks. He got onto the subway tracks and chased him in the tracks. And then when he
like
came
a fucking
back,
Harrison Ford movie.
yeah. And then when he came back, the manager was like, "All right, we won't do that."
Yeah.
And then I remember one time a woman coming in,
You
some
get hit
white
by a
lady.
train and a pair of like Rugrats underwear falls on the platform.
Well, and you don't know it. You're a kid, so you're just like, yeah, this is the rules, and we're getting paid, and you make more money. Like you would get paid, like I forget what it was. It was like $100, $80 extra dollars,
weren't
like
you-
cash, dude,
Really?
to fucking catch someone stealing. Yeah.
So didn't you just say the rule was if they got outside the store, you weren't supposed to follow them?
The law is you're not supposed to follow them.
But they would
manager's rules was like, yo, let's get these motherfuckers.
I see.
Now the other thing was, I can't really say, I don't want to blow up the spot of the place, but anyway, like it was close to where a tragedy happened, and so a lot of people would like run into that direction. And so now you're running through like a memorial, you know?
It was 9/11.
Yeah.
You said it on the
Like you said
podcast
it.
before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've said it. Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, during that time when I worked there was a lot of construction going on. So guys would run to the fences and throw the shit into the fences. Especially guys, perverts would go with their phones and they take pictures of like girls' feet or up girls' skirts. We would catch guys doing that too, which is on CCTV.
Which you did not get $80 for that. So usually you just let them go.
You got to keep their phone, but they took the pictures off.
Yeah.
But you would stop them at the door, and those guys had more to lose, you
You
know?
had 2 weeks of jack off material on your phone.
But I remember twice, guys with phones
Yeah.
taking pictures, and they'd run out of the store, and if people chased them, they would take their phone and throw it into the construction site. So the trade center is not only
so they
are
can't
there
get
like,
tracked?
you know, is it buried under like a site? There's also phones with feet and pussy on them,
Right.
buried at One World Trade. Yeah.
Yeah, they would throw their phone and it would land next to the IDs of the 4 Israelis who set the explosive charges.
Yeah, man, this place stunk. It was such a dumb place to work. I remember a lady came in because you're a kid, so you don't know that it's
Larry
wrong.
Silverstein was like, "Oh wow, a phone!
And then
Oh wow, a Nokia."
I remember this white lady came in one day to like the entrance of where, because we also lost prevention. It was also our job, I forgot this, to pat down the employees in and out, coming in and out.
Oh, yeah.
So we would catch a lot of employees stealing. obviously. Which it's like, what the fuck? This place sucks. You know, I don't think that happens at Home Depot. Does that happen in most places?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That was like, this CNBC article was talking, I mentioned it earlier, but, if you can get an employee on the inside at one of these places,
Right.
They can steal power tools. Or like, what's fascinating? I mean, this is like how much waste there is in this fucking system is Walmart. If they don't sell like, a plasma TV or something, they'll just fucking crush it.
No shit.
Like, you're a Walmart employee, you will have to crush electronics that are worth hundreds of dollars, and you will get fired if you steal it.
You're like the Indian in the litter commercial. Just a single tear goes down your face. You're crushing a PlayStation
An Xbox 360.
You gotta crush a PlayStation 5.
But it's like, if you're going to throw this shit out anyways, or if you're, if you've worked a place, there's always good opportunities to steal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you know it better than anybody. So it's like, if you can get a guy that you can fence it to, maybe they give you a percentage or,
Right.
or, maybe they just give you some fentanyl for your fucking addiction
Well, that's
that helps you work at Walmart.
Because I was on stage one time talking about this stuff, and this girl was like, "Yeah, I work at Whole Foods," and like they care more about the employees stealing than the customers.
Yeah. No, that
they're
is
more
true.
familiar with the,
And then they also, I think they love the idea of, well, you committed like a sin within the group, like you're
Yeah.
a part of the unit.
Right,
Someone
right,
who
right.
comes here and steals, they're,
Right.
but you're actually like, now this is like a human resources issue. You know,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a hiring issue. Like, yeah, any excuse to feel powerful and like you did the right fucking thing.
Right. I feel like we got a lot more to talk about. Should we continue this
Yeah, we
on?
can continue
yeah,
more because
well,
memories are
Mike-
coming back where I go, oh fuck, I can't believe they made us
Mike,
do
maybe
that.
you could give the listeners some tips for not shoplifting. Like, if you
Yeah.
were to shoplift, like an O.J. Simpson, if I did it,
Sure.
what would your tips be?
Well, I think I've said this before, but definitely don't use a tote bag. Don't bring a tote bag into the store and act like you're just shopping because you're bringing your stuff in the tote bag because you're frazzled, and that's what you're using because you got your baby in one hand, or you got your baby's walking around, or you got the stroller, Don't just put stuff in a tote bag and then buy expensive milk on the way out. Don't do that because that's illegal.
You think you could wear like a Blue Lives Matter shirt or like some sort of like pro law
Yeah,
enforcement
probably.
or
Yes, and to get the eyes off
Also,
you.
maybe just like if you're carrying a green juice, that's what I've heard. If you have a green juice, nobody looks at you.
I
right.
like that. Yeah,
It's funny because there's so much. I mean, I want to talk about some of the conflicting like information about it
about shop. Well, also
Yeah.
shoplifting.
because loss prevention people think they're like
Everybody thinks their job
They think they're
matters, and that's
Columbo.
why they get shot in the stomach at Home Depot
yeah
before they turn 30. It's like these jobs aren't real. None of these jobs are real. It's
Yeah.
like what's real is the thing you go home to. Everything
Right,
else
right.
is like make your fucking money.
thousands of dollars of boosted merchandise. What's real is the thing you go home to? Premium chicken thighs. Premium organic chicken thighs and wild caught Atlantic salmon.
that'd be great. Like the Out for Smokes merch store. We just have like Chilean sea bass from Whole Foods.
On dry ice.
I take pride in being bad at every job I've ever done.
Yeah.
I was the worst. I literally never caught someone stealing.
Ooh, a giant bag of premium California almonds.
Dude, speaking of, before we go to the
We've got
Patreon,
2% milk at the Whole Food at the Out for Smokes Patreon store.
a buddy of ours
just
worked there
$2.
too. Worked
Where?
there too at the department store.
Yeah.
Drew,
Oh,
right?
Drew, yeah.
Yeah. And I love him so much. I don't know if you remember Drew, but he was a comic. He's just such a funny person.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a wallet. Like I just showed up to the city with nothing. Like not because I didn't have money, just because I was a moron who didn't have things.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working there and I didn't have a fucking wallet. And I was like, and he was working there already for like maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You don't have a wallet?" And he opened the drawer in his bedroom and he had like 10 wallets. And he's like, "Pick one." And I'm like, "Where did you get them?" And he was like, "Dude, we're loss prevention at a department store."
Is Drew Dowdy?
No.
Different
no.
Drew?
Yeah. But so funny. And then I used that wallet. That was the wallet I used the whole time I worked there. Was a wallet that was stolen from there. I never stole anything from there, but my buddy did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last thing I wanted to say before we take it to Patreon is, shout out to Mark Zuckerberg, as I mentioned at the top of the episode. But it's just like, I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention this because like this whole shoplifting thing has kind of spurred, let's say some racial discourse online about, like, oh, San Francisco's going to shit. And there's like right-wing accounts that are like, oh, look, black people are stealing or whatever. And it's like, the reality.
You sure about that?
Well, yes.
Right.
But the reality is right now, federal law protects internet companies from liability for messages that people post on their site. So why we've had this upsurge in shoplifting since 2018, I mean, there's different factors, but kind of it's like everybody all at once, including the online companies, figured out, eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Amazon figured out, hey, we're not liable. If people steal shit and put it on here, it's on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, eBay's kind of started to work with law enforcement, but Facebook Marketplace, their entire growth strategy is like, let's have people boost shit and put it on here. That's how Mark Zuckerberg is making money. And he's a billionaire, and he's right. The law's on his side. It's not his problem.
And he's already got a big green egg and a offset smoker. Like, what else how much more fucking money do you need?
What was it in California? It's like it's a little less than $1,000, and it's not. All they do is kind of bring you to the jail and then throw you back out.
Right. But it's just like, I guess it disturbs me to see these kind of online right-wingers kind of pushing this anti-black stuff or trying to, get whites on the internet riled up against black shoplifters or whatever. When the reality is the people who are making the real money off this is Facebook Marketplace. It's these online retailers, these online sellers. That's why it's now so profitable and efficient to fence stolen merchandise. So it's like, if you want to stop the shoplifting, if you're like complaining about things being behind the glass at Walgreens, you got to crack down on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
That's how you actually stop this.
Right. You heard it here first, boomers. It's not who you think it is.
Yeah, it's your wife.
It's not black people. It's Jewish people.
Yeah. No, it's Jewish people and your wife. All right. See you over on Patreon. Find out what my surprise is for these guys, and we will catch you guys next week or on Patreon. Bye-bye.